It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Finally, we are here. It might be the end of the road of our Spring-Summer 2025 Supreme Preview Series, but we did in fact save the best for last. Today, guys, I'm talking about every single accessory releasing from Supreme Spring-Summer 2025, my thoughts on them, what I think the best resale items will be, what I think the goofiest items will be, and each item that I feel like I can't live without. So if you've been enjoying all these videos of me breaking down the entire Supreme Spring-Summer 25 preview, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and maybe even becoming a member just in case you want some extra benefits and show your boy some love and support. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Before we get started, just a quick reminder to go check out poggerslifestyle.com/SupThomas. They just hooked me up with a little 10% affiliate code so you guys can save on their sleep drink mix. In case you're staying up late at night, you can't fall asleep, Poggers got you covered. Their energy drink mix, like me, every morning, slamming caffeine, making these videos. And their hydration mix. You guys gotta stay hydrated. You got electrolytes and essential vitamins that need restored. You got all that. Some of it's on sale. You got stickers, you got shakers. Use my code, check out Poggers. Thank you again. And now let's look at some damn accessories. Guys, I'm so freaking excited. I've looked over these accessories, but I haven't fully dove into it. I have to restrain myself. Like, I get to look at this stuff on my video when I'm recording with y'all. So let's check out the very first item, and it's a big one. We're talking about the Supreme and Golden West pool table, which released for week 1 on Thursday. Insane pool table with all this leopard felt. You can see the balls and the Supreme logos are just insane. I actually posted this advertisement that Supreme did on the pool table. You can go check that out on my shorts page or just go on Supreme's Instagram. I just reposted what Supreme puts out there. I think it's fun. It's cool. This thing was $15,000, which in terms of pool tables is definitely expensive because I know nice pool tables are multiple thousands of dollars. Supreme, it's bespoke. There's probably less than 200 of these in existence. Very rare item. It's not for people like you and me. This is for people that are rich like that, can afford it, and maybe one day I can cop something like this for the channel, and that'd be super cool. That is my goal with this channel, to keep growing it so we can cop all the Supreme goodies and show it off because that's the coolest shit in the world. Maybe one day. Next up, we got the Seabob F5 SR, which is an underwater scooter. Can't imagine this thing will be very cheap, but it's got a high performance electric motor, which is cool. Lithium ion, it's a little scary for the water, but I guess better than gas powered, I don't know. Speed up to 14 miles an hour, 2 built-in HD cameras with recording capabilities. Average operating time up to 70 minutes. I wonder how much this thing costs straight up without the Supreme branding, but this is cool. This reminds me of those underwater vehicles that spies use. Like if you're, I don't know, Keanu Reeves in Point Break and you gotta infiltrate the surfing crew's hideout, whatever. You got your non-existent exhaust panels there for your not gas-powered engine. You got your grips up front with your digital dial display, Supreme branding, shark on the side. This is an awesome picture. Just Y2K as fuck. Look at that shit, dude. I love the goggles. We need the goggles, Supreme. Please drop those. Absolutely hilarious. So a regular non-branded Seabob is around $17K. Well, this one's on sale, $16,280. I imagine a Supreme one will be around $20,000, maybe $18,000, $19,000. And yeah, that's a special kind of someone buying this thing, but I'm glad that they're making it because why the hell not? Very clean Supreme Knoll denim Barcelona chair and ottoman. Dude, as I get older, I get more and more into furniture. It's just how it goes. You look at people's houses, you see people that are in their 30s and 40s, and you're like, damn, that's a nice set of outdoor furniture. Where'd you get it? This thing is pretty clean. Steel chair, Japanese selvage denim, of course. You get the measurements down below. Not gonna read it because it's just too much, and I can't really read too. Designed by Ludwig Mies van der Rohe in 1929. Handmade in USA, exclusively for Supreme. That's cool that it's handmade in USA. I like the branding on the ottoman. It's a very fun material to use and usable denim. I was gonna say it doesn't look that great, but it absolutely does. The material looks good. I would be a little scared about the selvage staining your clothes, but I feel like the Knoll chair is a fairly popular chair. Let's go check it out too. We are the regular Barcelona chair. Retails around 8 grand, 6 grand. It's 25% off. But here's the thing with this type of furniture, guys. You can buy the Supreme one. I think it's dope. I think it's cool. If you really get in furniture, like estate sales, yard sales from people that don't know what they have, you can get this stuff for sometimes pennies on the dollar. So I just encourage you guys, if you're into furniture or if you're looking to get into it, just do research, go to storage units, go to Goodwill. You'll never know what you can find. And I think it's always better to pay way less for something than full price, but we'll see how much this thing costs. Maybe they give us a deal this time instead of a markup. I doubt it. Next up, the Supreme Wolf Form Dress Form. I used to use these in fashion design classes where you would drape your garments on them and just see how clothing fits on a human body, which is super cool. Covered by pinnable Irish linen, which is the nicest part about these things. You can pin clothes directly to them so you can get them to stay in place how you like. I like the Supreme branding on the front and on the back. If you're a fashion design student, you're someone with the clothing company, you want something with a little pizzazz, obviously it costs more because it's Supreme, but I think for people that are actually out there designing, this is an awesome and practical accessory that you can use on an everyday basis. All right, the big boy, the Ojas Artbook Shelf Speaker Plus Amp. Can't be how you pronounce that, but I'm going with it. Get a pair of passive 8-inch coaxial speakers, 2 channels, tri-path amplifier. I'm way outside of my comfort zone with this. These look insane. I think I saw drops put these priced at like multiple tens of thousands of dollars. I don't know, man. Speakers are weird. Like I just got a sound bar for my TV. It was $80. It improved the sound quality dramatically just to get the audio pumping towards you. But I do know that the full dynamic range amplifiers, this thing's frequency is insane. 40 hertz to 18 hertz, 96 decibel sensitivity, and 8 ohms nominal impedance. Yeah, dude, please someone tell me what this thing means. Tell me where their website looks like off-whites, but here's the shelf speaker, and these are $6,000, and that is just for these 2 speakers, which aren't quite exactly the same as the Supreme one. Pretty freaking crazy, dude. I'm so pumped for this, dude. Supreme and Everlast have come back together with a speed bag. This is amazing, and it's the one item on this list that I cannot live without. You guys have been following me for a little bit. You know I'm a bit of a boxer. Yeah, nothing crazy. I'm in the apartment heavy bag, going at it, training, doing my thing, and a couple items on my grail list are the Supreme heavy bag, which will probably never happen, Supreme boxing gloves, more likely, and now I can add another item to that list being the speed bag and platform. I really hope it's not too expensive, but if it's under 500 bucks, even if it's more than 500, I'm gonna go for it. I don't think it's gonna be that much, but you never really know. The platform could be kind of expensive. Unfortunately, in my current apartment, I can't set this up, so it's gonna be in the box for a little bit, which I'm okay with, but I fully plan on using this guy to train with, and I think it's gonna be an awesome accommodation to my future home gym that I just dream of building one day. We'll see, and it's got height increments, all kinds of stuff. You do this and work on your hand speed. It says Supreme on it, Everlast. I think it's so freaking cool. And it looks like the regular platform is about $200, so Speedbag might add 30 bucks. And if we judge based on Supreme's previous pricing with Everlast, I think this thing will be right around 300, maybe even less, maybe like 250, which is great. Keeping it athletic with the Yonex E-Zone 100 tennis racket. This thing is super sick, and I'm telling you guys, we are just a few seasons away from the pickleball paddle, and that'll be the day that I cash out. I'm probably still gonna go for both of these, or at least one of them, maybe give to one of my parents who play tennis, or just to resell and kind of have one around the house, because I think this is pretty cool. Anytime they do stuff like this, it ends up being collectible one day, so this is not a bad item to hold on to display. If you're a tennis fan, racket sports fan, I think it's pretty cool. It's also made in Japan for all of us weebs. Printed logos, pretty basic. It's a Supreme tennis racket, and I do love how it has it right there towards the handle, and then on the inside where the webbing is, I don't know all the right right words for tennis, but I do know that this racket is sick. Oh boy. Supreme ET. I hope you guys didn't get hoodwinked into buying this when you heard that there was only 1,982 of them, because that was the year that ET came out. While that is true, and there were only 1,982 of these, it might still be in stock on the website right now. I'm not gonna check because this video is already taking a bit of time because I'm taking some love and care to talk about each accessory, but the Supreme ET Alien, it's absurd. It's $500, and I don't think this is gonna have any short-term resale. Maybe down the line, people would be willing to spend more than that, but in this economy, you'd be hard-pressed to find someone who's even willing to buy this thing for retail, let alone above it. Really happy to see this on the list. Supreme Jacob & Co. Dice 14 karat gold pennant. I have been saying in a few videos that I want to see Supreme return to form with their gold pennants, and while I wish they didn't have to do Jacob & Co. now, at least we are still getting jewelry. I think it is way more expensive than it used to be, and I don't even think that, I just know it, but this is a cool item that does harken back to their past. And now that they are owned by a larger company, it does make sense that they would want to use their connections to get ties to Jacob & Co., etc. But regardless, it's 14 karat gold. It's a really cool chain with 2 dice. I do like the inset rubies. I can't imagine what the single costs, but it's very cool, and I love to see a new gold pennant from Supreme and Jacob. Next up, the Odyssey record case. This is tight. Utility case with fully foamed lined interior compartments, stackable construction. I guess if you get multiple and stack them up or similar ones, this is for storing your records. Simple as that. Could hold 70 LPs and 12-inch records. And then it's got the measurements down below. Again, not gonna read them. For a certain demographic, this is probably gonna be the best accessory on the list. I'm talking the early 90s, late 80s kids. Transformers for me, at least the show, was never that appealing. I know that's probably sacrilege to some of y'all, but I just didn't really like the animation that much and didn't think it was that great of a show. I did, of course, watch the Michael Bay movies, and I was a good age for that, so I enjoyed Optimus Prime, but in terms of Autobots rolling out, I don't expect myself to be rolling out the wallet for this thing, unless I think it's gonna do something. And it's tough to say with these type of accessories. Like even the Supreme Gundam that came out a few years ago, I figured that thing would be double retail as of right now. It's not really the case. Toys and stuff, it's tough. So maybe if this is a great price, it could be worth a quick and easy flip on the day of, but I think this might be one of those things where as soon as it comes out, a couple people end up flipping it and everyone else just kind of is like, I'm good. I don't really want to pay more than retail for that. So I would cop this thing if you love Transformers, you love action figures, and you're nostalgic for it. Other than that, it's a pretty standard Supreme branded toy. 10 sake set also came out for week 1. I think it was $230, which is pretty expensive for 2 cups and 1 sake bottle, but it's made in Japan, so of course it has heritage. It's refined, it's crafted by a family who's been doing it for hundreds of years. And I think they're still in stock, but I would go soon. This will definitely sell out eventually. Bam, the water gun, Spyra 3 water blaster to be specific. This thing's awesome. Fully automatic water blaster, 35 feet effective range, and 50-foot maximum power range. That's crazy. Get your damage range just like we're playing Warzone or something. 22 water blasts per charge. This thing is hilarious. Not the first time we've got Supreme water guns before. There's the classic ones that came out a long time ago. I mean, like 2010s-ish. And I feel like in 2020 or 19, we had something very similar, but they're coming back out again. A great spring accessory, great for playing around the pool, doing all kinds of stuff. Who doesn't love a good water gun? And I love the big branding on it. You get yourself a clear one, which is cool. Would have maybe liked blue a little bit more, but it's got kind of a blue tint to it. And then of course red, just a classic pew 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 with the water can right here. Looks like a jerry can for gasoline, but it's the Swiss Link stainless steel water can. 20 liters, debossed logo. I guess if you need to store water, you better get your water can, I suppose. I'm just thinking about what the utility of this is for. Maybe for camping, going on some kind of a trip where you're not gonna have an active water supply. Trying to look at how exactly it works. That's the cap right there. You just fill it up. 20 liters of water. Wonder how heavy that is. Is that like a lot? It's about 44 pounds of water, so it's definitely not nothing. I don't really have any use for this, but maybe you do. Whoa. The Damien Hirst shark tray set of 3. Build the shark picture with your plates. Ceramic trays with printed graphics, sold as a set of 3. This is kind of cool. Sucks that it only works when you have the 3 plates just like this, which if you're actually using these to eat with, will never happen. And therefore, I don't find this to be that interesting. I would have rather just had 2 plates, one with the sheep, one with the shark, but they decided to go with this and be a little artistic with it. Maybe you could hang it up on the wall if you really like it. I don't know, the Damien Hirst stuff for me doesn't really do a lot. Like the shark, it's cool. This also doesn't say Supreme. Should it say Supreme on it? I don't know. It probably says it on the bottom. It is what it is. If you like sharks, get the plates. And there's my question answered. Rosenthal, Supreme. It is pretty cool, but I know this thing will be damn expensive. BB Simon denim lanyard. Finally, something wearable and something that most of us can afford. I love the expensive accessories, but this is the bread and butter. The $20 to $50 things, the stuff where you don't have to be rich to be like, yeah, I'm going for it. And I think this black lanyard's gonna do crazy. Don't know why, I just honed in on it, but something about it I think would be pretty cool. It's a lot of denim this season, but it seems to be a bit of a theme. So they're rocking with it. I'm here for it. What do y'all think of the BB Simon denim lanyard? If the lanyard was too big for y'all, how about the keychain? Same 3 colors, just in a keychain form. Made in the USA is pretty awesome. Shout out to BB and Simon. The Last Supper leather belt. I know a lot of people are going after this, and this is going to be a very sought after item. I love that they actually used the Last Supper official painting, nothing with this crochet embroidery looking stuff. I think with a beautiful classic iconic piece like this, you got to pay respects. And I think this is a wonderful item, really well executed. The idea of the wide horizontal picture on a belt just makes sense, and this will be an easy item for anyone to go for, really. If you don't want to wear it, it will be flippable, resellable. This is going to be some people's #1 item, and I think is going to be pretty hard to get. So maybe consider using an ACO slot. If this is like the one item that you need, I wouldn't want to miss it. New York Supreme Empire State license plate. This is an easy cop. Obviously, don't put it on your car unless you want to get a ticket, but this is super cool. I love this thing. As someone who loves cars, it's kind of a no-brainer, and I imagine this will be relatively cheap. Hopefully it's like $20 to $40, and they don't tax us too much on the Empire State license plate. Seiko My alarm clock. This released also for week 1, and I wanted to say it actually ended up selling out. It might have took a little bit of time, but I think it did. You got your analog alarm clock made by Seiko, glow-in-the-dark hands for nighttime. Super cool item. I don't find it that usable because my phone is a way better alarm clock than this thing could ever be, but if you like more analog stuff or you just want a little nightlight, I don't blame you for wanting a little glow-in-the-dark hand just to see a little bit. Hey, who am I to judge? The Iwatani portable butane stove. I think chat was going crazy for this in my first live, or maybe it was my first video where y'all were talking about your items you wanted to go after, but the butane stove, extremely usable for camping or inside. If you don't have a nice stove for you to use for whatever reason, it's portable. It's got 10,000 butane hours of constant high heat. I'm sure it's refillable. This thing is awesome. Iwatani strikes me as a memorable brand. I've seen it before. I'm gonna go after this and see if I want to keep it or not. I do have a Snow Peak grill, but it's one of those super tiny, like fits in the palm of your hand. And anything bigger than a single serving of ramen on a pot is too big for it. There's no way you can make eggs on it, for instance. It's way too small. This thing, if it's like 90 bucks, I definitely go for it. I probably wouldn't pay more than 150 though, just for me personally, and how much I would actually use it. Next up, the Deneen camper mug. Now, I've said I have too many mugs also, but this is one of those items I'm gonna consider getting. I love these style of mugs, and maybe Deneen is one of those brands that I've always liked, but never knew what the name of the brand is. It just has a certain vibe to it. The thickness of the ceramic, the shape of the lip, big 3D print coming out. This just looks good, and I want to drink coffee out of it. And if I got to get rid of some of my crappy mugs in the cupboard, well, that just is what it is, and we got to make sacrifices. But this might be a non-negotiable stoneware mug. I hope it's not like $150 for some reason. Our final SpongeBob SquarePants item is the Castelli sports bottle, which is hilarious. Specialized, by the way, probably made for a bike. BPA free. Get us out of this microplastic era, guys. It's killing us. We're eating plastic every day. BPA, it's actually a really big issue. So BPA free, I think we should all support that more and be into that. But this is hilarious. It works so well. You don't even have to know it's Supreme to love this thing. How much will it be? I don't know, but I would say after the Jeff Hamilton jacket, this would be my second favorite Supreme SpongeBob SquarePants item. But as someone who does not cycle, I have no need for this when I got this, and that's just how I look at it. I spoke too soon. I totally forgot about the cycling socks. A 1-pack would have been nice to get a 2-pack. Like, it is what it is, but you got your specialized SpongeBob SquarePants cycling socks. Is this taking it too far? Absolutely. Is this going to be sold 99% to people who don't cycle? Probably. Am I going to be buying one? Definitely not. This is too much for me. It's goofy. I've said the thing about the 3D versus the 2D art. I prefer the 2D art, but I'm glad they're making it because it is hilarious. Swiss Tools screwdriver. This is pretty cool. Multiple different screwdriver magnetic bits. This would be a great addition to anybody's tool collection. I like the colorways. At the Phillips 1, 2, and then a bunch of other ones. Carbon steel bits as well. Love to see that. We got the SOG Mac V tool. Damn. So it's like an analog multi-tool made out of a single piece of steel. That is interesting. You got a bottle opener, a couple other things, bits. You got Phillips driver, line cutter, blade sharpener. Yeah, interesting. It's ugly as all hell to look at, but looks like it does something pretty good. And if you want a multi-tool that fits in your pocket, and there you go. Get yourself a Mac V Supreme tool. Camo playing cards. True timber. Boys, I'm telling you, next video is gonna have to be a war of the camos, and we're gonna have to talk about mossy oak versus real tree versus true timber. It's getting insane. We're getting playing cards. We have to be reaching a boiling point eventually. That being said, I do love these, and playing cards are sick. I feel like it's been a bit since Supreme has made some standard size ones. We had those slice cards, the mini ones last season, and a couple other ones recently. I don't know. I think they're bicycle. Maybe they're not. They don't even say bicycle on the side. So maybe Supreme's going in-house now, doing their own brand. Next up, the Eagle Creek Packet Compression Bags, set of 2. What is going on here? Okay, these are travel bags that compress your clothes for storing in a suitcase. That's pretty interesting. I'm curious to see how this works, what the price is, because storing more clothes on vacation, I don't know about y'all, but for me, I could get a lot of use out of that. I always be stuffing my suitcase with all the fits I gotta get off when I go back home or somewhere else. Silk bandana, easy. We all know what this is. It is a bandana in 4 different colorways. Love it, classic, and I'm sure it'll sell out. The boat towel, great design. I love these water shorts and the short sleeve shirt that's releasing with the same graphic. You got the guy in the Supreme rowboat over some water. It's a great looking towel, 70 by 39 inches, pretty big, nice beach towel. Speaking of towels, we have the shop towel set for your shop or your kitchen, whatever you want to do. Set of 3, I think you get each color, pretty dope. All right, the return of the Toyo Steel T150 mini toolbox. This was on last season's preview. It didn't end up coming out. It got delayed for whatever reason. Maybe it was the steel tariffs. I don't know, but this is pretty dope. Shout out to Toyo, shout out to Supreme, and which color is your favorite? I could see both being pretty cool. All right, the pen, titanium, ruler, bookmark. This thing is very ugly to me. I don't like it. It came out, I think 1 colorway sold out, but just not really doing anything for me. The Fuckum blue lug reflector. I swear my eyesight is getting worse, but this is something you put in the back of your bike, it looks like, and it will reflect and say, fuck 'em. So put it on your Supreme bike that you bought. If you're wearing the SpongeBob fit, you gotta go with the yellow. That's very important. But I'm sure people will find interesting uses for this besides bikes. The Victorino pocket knife, 10-piece Swiss Army knife. You'll love to see it, dude. You got a camo and a red one, made in Switzerland. The multi-tool boys are absolutely eating this season. Puzzle keychain, no. This thing is a scam. I don't believe it. I don't trust it at all. Came out for week 1. You can buy it on the site right now. Just don't though. I really don't like this thing. The Skull Bell keychain, brother. Yes, dude. Skulls. I love skulls. This thing is awesome and way better keychain than a puzzle. The Marker basketball jersey keychain. Poly Dazzle money pouch keychain with zip closure at bottom. Original artwork by Panda Sex.
What the hell?
They're trolling us, man. They're fucking trolling us. Why? Next, we have the Hanes tagless tees. No new colorways of any of the Hanes stuff. Black and white socks, underwear, tank tops. Not even worth talking about. Really disappointed in Supreme for not giving us a new color. Glad I got gray at least last year, geez. And last but not least, mini planters, a set of 3, something simple but usable. 3-inch ceramic planters and saucers with embossed logos, sold as a set. I imagine you get all 3, I would hope so. Says set of 3, so I'd hope you get all the colorways at least, not just, 3 whites, 3 red, 3 blacks, but you never know. And that is all the accessories, guys. Wow. Decided to talk about each one a little bit longer, so I hope the video wasn't too terribly long, but overall, some really great items. The pool table, absolute madness. We saw it released for week 1 and sold out eventually. We also got the ET, which is the biggest troll accessory. My favorite one, gotta be the Everlast speed bag. Super dope. I'm glad we're getting the gold pennant. Jacob & Co, probably expensive, but super sick nonetheless. And the tennis racket. I think I'm gonna go for that for sure. In terms of resale, leather belt, a lot of people looking forward to it. Butane stove, I dig the mug, and everything else is more or less take it or leave it. What was y'all's favorite accessory in this video? Drop it in the comments and let me know what you're going after this season. This concludes the SupThomas preview breakdown. It's been a pleasure, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.